All right, so if you've been following along so far, we've gone ahead and downloaded the Apple Design resource for iOS. If you haven't done so, go ahead and follow this step in our last lesson. And then once you download that, you should be able to open up this file right here from where you can use the iOS 13 sketch files as well as install the fonts that you need. So be sure to head over to this website right here. And I've already have it opened up. Apple uses these font types throughout their UI. So it's best if you go ahead and download all these fonts and just have them on your system. And so this way, when we do import the sketch file, we won't have any issues there. So go ahead and download these fonts and then we'll get right back to it. So I'm going to go ahead and also make sure that I have all these fonts and then we'll get right to it. I want to quickly mention that if you're using the Figma web app, go ahead and head on over to figma.com/downloads and then go ahead and download this font installer right here. Whether you have Mac or Windows, they have both of them right here. As you can see, the desktop app does not require the font installer, but in order for you to be able to apply your installed fonts on your machine into your Figma web app on your browser, you will need to use this font installer. After you install your fonts, I do recommend that you quit the Figma desktop app and just open it again to make sure that those fonts that we've installed have been applied. So now that we're ready to import our iOS 13 sketch file here, let's head on over to Figma and then go back to the main files, the main page over here. I've already imported it, but if you haven't, go ahead and open up iOS 13 sketch and then go ahead and just drag this UI elements design plus guides right into your Figma app. It should just take a second there to convert it into a Figma file since this is a sketch file. But once that step is completed, you can go ahead and open your file here. So from here, you have access to colors, text styles from Apple, safe areas, the iPad interface, as well as the iPhone interface. Right now, we're interested in the iPhone interface here. So go ahead and open it up. And then we're looking to apply a couple of things right now. I'm just going to drag my mock-up sketch here. You'll see from here that on these two pages, we want to have a navigation bar here. And then on these three pages, the main pages, will have a tab bar in order to switch between these pages. So let's go ahead and drag a navigation bar and a tab bar into our designs from the iOS 13 guidelines. Let me just go ahead and zoom into here. And then this is probably what we're looking for here. We have the navigation bars and the status bars are up here. So the easiest way to actually apply these into our application is to just go ahead and use components. All of these elements are already components, but what you can do is you can go ahead and use them in your own projects. I think right now we're just interested in this specific frame here. So why don't we go ahead and just press Command C on the whole frame. So make sure you have everything selected. Use this UI elements dash bars and go ahead and copy the whole thing using Command C. And then head on over to your project here. Let's go ahead and create a new page and name it iOS UI components. And then go ahead and just paste that in here. So now we can use these across our designs. So we can use this navigation bar right here. So why don't we go ahead and just drag that outside. Let's go ahead and also drag this status bar out here. Over here, I see we have the tab bars as well. We want 3 options in ours. So let's go ahead and select this one right here and drag it out as well. And so let's go ahead and now select each of these separately and create a component from them. Do it for the status bar, and then we'll do it for the navigation bar here. And lastly, our tab bar here. And so now if I head back over to my mockups page here, let's focus in on our main pages here. Let's head over to the assets tab over here. And then from where we have iOS UI components, let's drag in a status bar. Place it at the top. Let's go ahead and use Alt to drag over copies on each of these pages. And we'll need a navigation bar on our profile page, so let's go ahead and drag that in. Now you'll see that it's covering my status bar. So one neat shortcut in Figma is that you can use Command and the square brackets to move layers up and down. So just go ahead and press Command and the opening square bracket, and that will move your layer that you have selected down below the other one. That's what we want here. Let's go ahead and just drag that into right here, and then again use Command and the opening square bracket to put it below the layer that we want. And lastly, let's go ahead and drag a tab bar into all 3 pages, because this will be our navigation structure. So we'll use this tab bar to switch between these 3 pages. We will add the icons here in the next lesson, but for now, let's go ahead and just rename our pages accordingly. So this one's profile, and this one's services. Let's go ahead and just switch back to my sketch here. Yep, that looks right. We just have an edit button here as well, so let's go ahead and add that as well. Let's just go ahead and delete this square right here as well as the one here. And let's go ahead and delete from here as well. And then in this one right here, let's just go ahead and add an edit button. Now, keep in mind, I'm using the SF Pro display font. That's the font that iOS uses right now. So go ahead and choose that. And then let's go ahead and resize that to 24 or 22 here and move that up here. Let's just go ahead and change the fill using our color styles to the blue that we have. I think that looks good. So now we've set up our navigation bars, our tab bars, and our status bars as well. That's kind of the baseline here that we need. So in the next lesson, we're going to come back and start designing our tab bar here, as well as work on our request page.